uma das principais vantagens do Wi5 Inspector é a gente saber qual que é a variável que preenche um campo na tela, né? Então, isso é uma das coisas que o Wi5 Tooling te ajuda. Wi5 Inspector. Uma das coisas que o Wi5 Inspector ajuda é te ajudar a descobrir qual que é a variável que preenche um campo da tela. Só que ela tem várias opções e eu quero saber mais deles, quais que são as outras vantagens do Wi5 Inspector. Okay, let's speak in English. I would like to ask about the Wi5 Inspector extension for Google Chrome browser. I use it to use the Wi5 Inspector to discover the data binding, the variable name for for a Wi-Fi element in the screen, but we see a lot of options in Wi5 Inspector, so I would like to know which are the other benefits of Wi5 Inspector beyond the control tree.
So basically from the UI5 Inspector, the idea was to bring the functionality what we have in the support tools. You may know that, Control-Shift-Alt-S. You can open the support tools in any browser and open a new window for UI5 to a Chrome plugin. That was a project which has been started more as an idea, and we wanted to learn what we have and additional opportunities here. And basically the first thing was the control tree. That's right. That was the thing to visualize that, to inspect then the properties, to modify the properties, or to see also from a data binding perspective what kind of models are related and is it one way, two way. So you get a bit more detail on that. But I think the idea is always to go a bit ahead of that, what's by default possible already with the support tools, and to leverage the browser capabilities. And this is if you can break out and also look into, for example, what's happening on network and maybe analyze things like requests. So I think I hope in the new version of the OData of the UI5 Inspector, this OData extension is already in, where you can also inspect a little bit more this $batch request, and so it provides you a much better visualization of this batch, because otherwise you need to understand these parts and then you need to read in these parts, and with that you can click on that and you get more details a bit more in a human readable form. And so this is the idea, that we are able to add more and more of this functionality in the UI5 Inspector, which cannot be realized with just the native browser functionality. And therefore, this tool has been developed.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
It's definitely, yeah, sorry, go ahead first.
that's because you say the Wi5 Inspector, it's part for supporting tools, right?
Correct.
So let's back the question. Could you tell a little bit more about this supporting tool?
So the supporting tools, they started also quite early, also with the intention
Peter, maybe only to interrupt, because supporting tool, it's always, I think, some mixing up. I think what you meant with supporting tool is this diagnostic window, no? So if people are looking in our documentation, they know which supporting tool you mean.
Yeah, it's this Control-Shift-Alt-S. I think it has several renames in the past, and maybe that's why I'm not at the latest name. It's called a diagnostic tool, and a diagnostic tool is just the control tree. It has the version information of the UI5 version. It has also, we tried it in the past around having debug capabilities, that you can easily add breakpoints to, let's say, setters and getters of controls and stuff like that. There was also visualization of flexibility in that, where you can see what happened there, to make it easier from our perspective as UI5 development team to inspect what's going wrong. And it's also nice at the end for every one of us developing SAP UI5 application, that this tool can also be used to already pre-analyze issues before sending them over to the development support, and that we can help our own a bit. For sure, development tools can always be improved, and there are a lot of ideas in that. But the main problem is from the support tool, there had been a lot of investment in the past. As we said, this is the way forward. We want to have an agnostic tool from a browser. But we also noticed with the UI5 Inspector that if you have the capabilities of the browser and you can access native stuff of the browser, you can even get a much deeper analysis of what's going on, what's happening there. So the UI5 Inspector has also a lot of potential still. It's not at the end, but you see that with, for example, the analysis of the OData requests and the batches, for example, people are looking forward to evolve that. And this is step by step that we want to make this from an overall experience much better.
Ok, now I understand. Bom, pessoal, vejam aí. Então, ele falou que o UI5 Inspector, que é uma extensão do browser, ela é parte de uma ferramenta que é esse do UI5 Diagnostics, que é uma ferramenta de suporte que tem como objetivo facilitar a análise dos aplicativos, fazer debug, analisar erros, uma melhoria das ferramentas de debugger do browser, né? Quem já está fazendo aí os seus aplicativos SAPUI5, está mexendo aí com as ferramentas de debug lá, as ferramentas de desenvolvedor do browser, só que essa ferramenta de diagnóstico, ela quer ir além, quer ser melhor, né? A ferramenta de diagnóstico, ela quer prover mais possibilidades e ferramentas para a gente fazer análise de erros, né? Graças a Deus, a gente poder uma forma bacana aí de analisar os erros no front-end, fazer debug e outras coisas.